Okay, so we've just kind of had a conversation about some of the challenges that you're experiencing with your son David, and kind of getting him to listen. You're experiencing some disobedience with him, and it sounds like it's especially difficult for him to listen to you kind of when he's really focused on something that he really likes to do, and that's kind of hard for him then for you to get his attention whenever he's focused on either a toy or the television or something like that. And so you're just looking for some different ways to kind of help manage that disobedience and some different strategies that you can use with David. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by going over this tip sheet. This provides just some information on disobedience. Kind of starts with a short description and kind of shows you what disobedience looks like in different ways. Explains why children are disobedient, and it also gives you some tips on ways that you can help prevent disobedience. And then it also gives you some strategies on how to teach your child limits. And on the back here, it covers different ways that you can manage disobedience when it does occur.
Okay.
And then everything kind of on the tip sheet is summarized here in this key steps box. It kind of just condenses all the information that's in the tip sheet and kind of summarizes it all right there at the end for you.
Okay.
And you can see too, this tip sheet is for toddlers, so it'll be great for working with David, and it's great for toddlers and kids at David's age. And to just remember that the fact that we have this tip sheet means that it's something that a lot of our parents experience, and so you are by far not alone in having these same kind of experiences with David. A lot of parents have the same challenges, okay?
That makes me feel better.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go over this section here and kind of focus in this area with focusing on teaching your child limits. And then I also want us to focus on this how to manage disobedience section too. So if you want to look those over and maybe pick 2 or 3 strategies in these areas to kind of help you, ones that you want to try with David, okay?
Okay.
Are there some ones there that you think you'd like to try?
Yes, I think I'd like to try the get close and gain your child's attention and tell them what to do. I think that would be good for when I'm needing to tell him, give him direction, and then maybe the backup with logical consequences for the times when he's not listening so well.
Yeah, that's great. I like that you have kind of a preventative plan and then also a way to help manage the disobedience when it does occur. That's great. And these are some really great strategies too that you've chosen. This get close and gain your child's attention is great because you just kind of get down on their level with them and it helps them to focus on you better and gets their attention. And then the fact that you're telling them what you want them to do instead of just telling them no is really helpful too, because then the child knows exactly what you're wanting from them, which is really good, especially when trying to help teach them to listen better and help set things up easier at the beginning. So why don't we write these down on your parenting plan checklist, and that way you can have these to refer back to, and we can track how things are going with these strategies, how well they're working.
Okay.
So can you give me an example of a time maybe where you would be able to use these strategies that we've talked about?
Maybe when he likes to stand too close to the TV and touch the TV, so I could maybe get down on his level, like kneel down next to him and tell him that he needs to stop touching the TV and back up, maybe sit in his chair.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so what's something, can you kind of carry that out for me? So what would you say exactly to David in that situation?
David, you're too close to the TV. I would kneel down and get on his level, yeah. And then you're too close to the TV and I need for you to stop touching it and scoot back and sit in your chair.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. And I like that you explained to him kind of exactly what you needed. You got down on his level. You did everything kind of that's in the strategy. That's great. What about the times maybe where David, you've done that, let's say, and sticking with the same example, you've got down on his level, you've asked him to back away from the TV and sit in his chair, and he's still not listening, he's still touching the TV and he's just paying attention to the show or whatever he's watching. Using the logical consequence intervention that we talked about, kind of what's something that you would say to him then?
I would say, David, you're not backing away from the TV, or you're still touching the TV, so we're going to turn the TV off for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I really like that you're telling him why the consequence is happening. You're giving him that explanation so he knows exactly what he was doing wrong in that situation, and knows then, this, I did this, and so now the TV is going off for 5 minutes. I didn't stop touching the television, and now it's going off for 5 minutes. That's really great. Do you want to write that down, some of those notes down on your parenting checklist, so that way you have those to refer back to also?
Sure.
Okay, great. So how do you feel about using these strategies at home with David? Do you think this is something that's doable?
Yeah, definitely. I just have to get in the habit of it. But
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Yeah, starting a new habit can be kind of challenging at first, but once you get used to it, and especially too once you start seeing the positive changes in David's behavior, I think that'll help encourage you and remind you to keep using those strategies that are, once they start working, that helps a lot. How soon do you think you'll be able to start utilizing these with David?
I'm going to try to start right away.
That's great. Yeah. Well, and remember too, you can always refer back to your tip sheet if you need to. Everything's kind of listed here, and there's descriptions, like I said, so you can always refer back to this. And you also have your parenting plan and that checklist that you can use too if you ever need to refer back to that. Okay. Do you have any other questions or anything about anything we've talked about today?
No, I don't think so. It's great. Thank you.
Great. All right. Well, then I will thank you so much for coming in today, and I will see you next week at the same time, and we'll kind of check in and see how things are going for you guys.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, so this is my self-evaluation for the first competency. I think for my strengths, I did a really good job of making sure I kind of followed the checklist and incorporated everything in there that I needed to. I was also really supportive of the parent and tried to provide a lot of encouragement for them. And I think too, it's important to let the parent pick which interventions or strategies that they want to try. It helps them kind of take a little bit more ownership and help them feel invested in the options if they're the ones choosing them, instead of me just telling them which interventions to do. And they know what's best for them, and so I think it's good to allow them to pick the strategies that they want to try. As far as areas of improvement go, I think I just need to get more comfortable carrying out the session and going through the checklist, and so making sure that I kind of include everything and just get more comfortable doing that, and also delivering the interventions, and just get more comfortable with everything kind of overall.